one damaging aspect of having grown up with emotional neglect, whether it was that you had a normal household, right? And you had happy times with your family, you have good memories, you had everything you needed physically, food, clothing, a house, somewhere to stay, right? Even if it was just a room, you had somewhere to actually be and call home. And this subtle but damaging effect of emotional neglect is one where you never received the appropriate amount of praise or recognition from a parent, right? Or validation, because they were either too caught up in what was going on with them. They were never able to overcome their own issues, right? Whether it was from their childhood, how their parents treated them, or any depression, addiction, any difficulty dealing with frustration in their own life, right? And they would take it out on everybody around them. It didn't always have to go be a physical abuse. It could just be emotional neglect or emotional abuse where they just didn't ever fulfill those needs. And one of those most important needs is that validation, that nurture, that being able to tell a young kid that everything's going to be okay, that they are capable of accomplishing whatever goal they had or whatever they were doing in school or whatever sport they wanted to do, right? That instills this core confidence in oneself that you always have the ability to do what it is that you set your mind to, and to believe in your capabilities, right, for where you are in life. And I have heard a lot from people in their early 20s who have graduated college or are going to universities, right? That they just don't feel ready for their first real big job, right? Or whether it's a career that they've finally chosen and they're working towards or are working in, or they're barely choosing a career. They just don't see in themselves being able to accomplish that and actually going through with it, and in a professional sense, having the capabilities to show others that they can do it as well, right? So it is very hard to go through life that way, right? Feeling like you're always second guessing yourself, feeling like you're not worthy or enough for whatever it is, whatever task is in front of you. And having these thoughts, having this internal feeling of not being enough is going to lead to things like procrastination, to leaving things off till the very last minute, to putting off the hardest tasks till the end, right? And honestly, just making you produce worse results, and finding ways to just ignore it or distract yourself so that you don't have to face this head on. And a lot of times I find these people are very good at their jobs, and they are successful, and they do have very good capable skills. It's just that these blinders, these internal beliefs about themselves, or any needs that were never met as a child, right, or as a young person, are being carried through to this point in this present moment in their life, right? And they're like blinders that aren't allowing them to see their reality and see how much it is that they have accomplished, see that they are accomplishing what they've set out to, right? And it makes them focus either too much on their past or onto their future for things that haven't even happened yet, right? That they don't even know if that's how their life is going to go. And these blinders are very damaging, and knocking them down and digging deep into them is the best way to overcome these conflicting thoughts of thinking that you're not going to be capable for accomplishing what it is that you've set out to do in your life. And hopefully, if this is something that you struggle with, you can identify some of those beliefs, right? Those internal beliefs that you have about yourself, and question yourself about them. Ask deeper questions. Ask why, ask what, ask how could this be? How could I believe this about myself? Or even think about others that are in similar situations. Just think, how can they do this and I can't? What's different about them than me? And eventually you'll reach a place where you see things more clearly. And if you can't do that on your own, then it may be time to reach out and find somebody that can help you do that, as that's going to be the fastest way to get past this, right? So that you can live life with more presence, with more self-belief, with more confidence in yourself, and not have to deal with all of that self-doubt and self-sabotage that may be going on.